Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading, and today's reading is called Your South Node, a lesson from a past life conquered. And we have three piles to choose from. Pile number one, which is represented by the green chili, pile number two represented by the watermelon, and pile number three represented by the pear. And you can go directly to the description box below and find your timestamp for each pile. And of course, you're welcome to watch more than one pile. And for those of you that don't know what the South Node is, the South Node is the South Node of the moon. There's the North Node and the South Node. And of course, they interact with our current lifetime and our past lifetimes. The South Node is the carrier of our lessons from a prior lifetime and carries all the wisdom and also all the pain that we've accumulated over lifetimes. Also all the victories that we have completed and conquered over other lifetimes as well. And in this lifetime, as we're working through our soul lessons in this lifetime, we can certainly draw on our South Node as a point of history where past lives are intersecting with our current lifetime to help us move through our current lifetime's lessons. Okay, so it sounds complicated, but it's really not. And when we think about the moon's nodes, or the nodes of the moon, the North Node and the South Node, keep in mind we are talking about the moon. And the moon, of course, holds all of our history, all of the depth of history from where we come from. It holds our family history, it holds our ancestors and our ancestors' history. And so it just makes sense that the South Node of the moon, representing what has come before, is the history, okay? And we can talk about the South Node of the moon, also refer to it as K2. And of course, K2 is the headless part of the snake in Hindu astrology, where the headless part of K2 is more of the intuitive wanderer aspect of K2, which I think makes sense when we put it in the context of our past lives, because we don't intellectually know every single detail about our past lives, but it is something that we intuitively feel. And the North Node is telling us what we need to accomplish in this lifetime, but that all comes from what we've experienced in the past. So it's all tied together. And it's not necessarily a set of facts of every single lifetime of every that you've had. It's more, like I said, more like a feeling or an intuition. I've been here before. I've done this before. I know how this feels. This feels like something I've experienced over and over and over. So those are the things that really come up, especially even like deja vu. Like, where does deja vu come from? I've been here before. I've seen this before. And there's really no rational explanation for it. And K2 is definitely a planet. And in Hindu astrology, K2 is considered a planet. K2 is really irrational, or that, not to mean that it's wrong, it's just irrational in the sense that we're not going to sit down and scientifically prove it, but the feeling is there. Okay? So maybe someday we will be able to scientifically prove past lives. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into, that is enough talk and enough chatter. So we will go ahead and get into the reading. Let's go ahead and do it. And again, you can go to the description box below to find your timestamp. For those of you that would like a personal reading with me, details for how to book one are below. If you'd like a natal chart reading with me, details for how to book one are below. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pile number one, welcome to your reading. You chose the green chili, and today's reading is called Your South Node, a lesson from your past life conquered. We're going to look at what you are currently conquering right now, pile number one, from a past life, or what you've already conquered. Okay, we'll see how it goes, won't we? Pile number one, and I'm going to go ahead and pull your tarot cards, and then we'll look at your oracle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the energy for pile number one, who comes here with an open heart. Ooh, there's the Empress. I love that. I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. For pile number one, who comes here with an open heart and an open mind, seeking your guidance. Thank you for allowing me to be I was going to say the rhythm and the channel between you and pile number 1. So maybe some of you here are very artistic, pile number 1. I don't know why I just thought of the rhythm, but let's go ahead and get into a rhythm here for pile number 1. Pile number 1, lessons. Okay. I am getting something about servitude in a past lifetime. Servitude, and perhaps serving in some type of a way or not being appreciated. And now in this lifetime, you're really conquering that lesson and you're really learning about self-love. But let's go ahead and see here for pile number 1. Okay, and those are your tarot cards. We have the Knight of Swords. And, you know, the Empress is not in a hurry. I will say that about the Empress. She's comfortable with where she's at, and she doesn't feel like she needs to be rushed by anyone or she needs to be hurried by anybody or anything in her life. Also, there could be a person for you, pile number 1, with this Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, that you're meeting again in this lifetime from a prior lifetime. So we will look at that too. Perhaps a past partner from a prior lifetime that you're meeting in this lifetime. But I definitely feel you're learning not to rush when it comes to matters of the heart, and you're learning to be comfortable with where you're at. That is something I'm already seeing right away. And we have Africa here and the Magician. Ooh, I love that. And these are this is a past life tarot deck that is associated with various tarot cards. And so we see Africa here. So perhaps some of you having a past life in Africa. We have the 4 of Pentacles and greed. Okay, interesting. Greedy. Well, you know, the Empress could be seen as being, you know, the negative aspect of the Empress could be seen as being very greedy. But I also feel people could have been taking advantage in a past life, pile number 1. We have Greece here. Oh my goodness, Greece. You guys having a connection to Greece. We see the 8 of Pentacles here with Greece, okay? We have greed and Greece, 4 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles, and the Magician. We have nature and Gaia. Ooh, I like that. Look at that beautiful blue eye. You guys have lived all over the world in your past lives, okay? And it says here, respect the beauty of your body as you respect Mother Earth. Wow. Maybe some of you here, I mean, the Empress very associated with the grains and the fields and the beautiful trees and the beautiful nature. And perhaps some of you really feeling the need to be in a beautiful nature, lush kind of environment, being around trees, being out in nature. Perhaps that's very soothing for your soul. And perhaps some of you here have a deep, deep reverence for Mother Nature and Mother Earth. And it just says, respect the beauty of your body as you respect Mother Earth. And I love that with the Empress, okay? Remain connected to nature. You are being protected. Ooh, I love that. You are being protected. And interesting. Pile number 1. I've got more to say about this greed here and perhaps the way that people try to like pull on your energy or draw on your energy, or situations in a past life that would have kept you stuck from moving forward, or would have felt very like lethargic or heavy, or would have felt like very immovable, okay? And wow, interesting. Let's see what else we have here. We have Chameleon Spirit, act as if. With the Magician, act as if you're already there. Act as if you're already this beautiful Empress, and not allowing yourself to get stuck, or not allowing you to lower your expectations just because you're in a certain environment. And, you know, the environment that we're in can definitely have an effect on our expectations and what we will allow for ourselves, okay? And the Magician is very much a chameleon. You know, when you talk about the Magician, I also feel with Africa, the Magician, and the chameleon here, I feel you guys, and maybe you feel this in your own bones too. Maybe you are multicultural, maybe you, or maybe you're Caucasian, but you always felt like a draw to other cultures, or you always felt that perhaps in a past life you were like a different skin tone, or perhaps some of you are very multicultural in this pile. And the Magician and the Chameleon is really ultra, ultra, ultra magical for sure. And this is energy of being light on your feet, I feel, pile number one, and being very adaptable, okay? And but adaptable in a way that doesn't limit you, like adaptable to changing things for your own good, okay? And we have here, I am connected to the earth and all of life around me. Oh my gosh, wow. We have this Gaia connected to the earth. It says Moon Goddess Artemis here. Maybe some of you had a connection to Moon Goddess Artemis back in the day. Diana Artemis is what we would call her. And the Four of Pentacles can be like very materialistic, or being stuck somewhere because of money issues. I also feel the Empress is very lucrative and very financially savvy and stable. And perhaps you guys were very interested in this lifetime at finding a, financially, so that you didn't have to like depend on someone else, so that you didn't get stuck somewhere because of someone else, that you really, really wanted to be grounded in this lifetime, and you really wanted to make sure that you were taking care of yourself, like working for yourself. I also feel too here, and working independently on your own, and perhaps taking care of other women, because we see, what's interesting here is we see grief, we see Greece, and we see Sappho and Arena. So maybe this looks like two female lovers here. So perhaps back in the day you guys had, if you're a female watching this, perhaps you had a female partner back in the day. But I feel like this ability with the Magician, the Four of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles, this ability to like tap into your gifts and your skills with the Magician, and your ability like not to think that necessarily making money or having your own foundation is a bad thing. Actually being able to like take care of yourself independently and on your own. And I see that here with the Empress here. So I do think that is another past life lesson from a past life that you've conquered in this lifetime, or you're working on conquering, is really like stabilizing your life and really being able to take care of yourself and really employ all of your talents that you do and take advantage of that in a good way. We have the Creator. Ooh, I love that. I am connected to the earth and all life around me. The Creator, the Magician, right? The Magician is very much that I am the creator of my life, and I am not going to make the same mistakes in the past. I'm not going to let people take advantage of me. I'm not going to let people steal from me, okay? Perhaps some of you here with this greed card, Four of Pentacles, perhaps you see the skeleton behind her kind of trying to take from her. Perhaps in the past, you guys were supporting people and yet they tried to take from you, or they tried to steal from you. Okay, and it's not that I feel that you're like really materialistic, pile number one. I mean, I just feel like, you need to be stable to feel comfortable, or you need to feel like you want to create an environment of stability and a grounded reality for yourself in this lifetime, okay? And I also feel like if there were money issues in a past life, or people that were like leeching off of you in a past life, whether that was a sister, a friend, a lover, family members that like were leeching off of you in a past life, or wouldn't let you go, or you didn't really feel like you could move around and explore your talents. I feel like in this lifetime, like it's a step up for you in this lifetime, and it has to do with how you look at yourself and how you treat yourself, pile number 1, okay? And I do feel like this lifetime is sweeter for you than prior lifetimes. I feel like with the 4 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, like you could have been stuck where you were at, or you could have been stuck in a particular place, but you wanted to go somewhere else, or you wanted to do something different, or you wanted to act on something, okay? And I feel like in this lifetime, you're very much like, I'm the creator of my circumstances. I'm gonna be the one in charge of my life and my circumstances, okay? And I also think some of you too, like having talents with fashion or clothes, and perhaps in a prior lifetime with this 8 of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles, you didn't really get to spend money on yourself, or you didn't really get to feel beautiful, or you really didn't get to buy yourself some nice clothes, and you didn't really get to like experience, like really take advantage of some of the luxuries that perhaps you were, because I feel you guys were very capable in a past life too. I feel some of you, even in a past life long ago, and we see Africa here, so I'm pulling on Africa, even if women at that time were not supposed to work or have skills or, you know, be making money, I feel like with the Magician here, you guys have been hustlers for a long time, figuring out like, what can I do to, you know, what can I do to kind of create income or create the life that I desire for me or for my family, like this type of thing, pile number 1. And some of you here could have had another female who was always kind of like relying too much on you all the time, or taking up a lot of your time, or, and it's, you're very caring. I feel like you don't mind helping people, but I also feel people could have been very reliant on you in a past life. And I feel some of you really had to hustle and think of new ideas all the time, and think of new ways to kind of get around things and to make things happen. And I feel like in past lives, maybe perhaps other people were like barnacles on you, or were like taking a lot from you. And I feel like in this lifetime, you're like, no, like I am going to honor myself and treat myself with respect. And I love that. It says, respect the beauty of your body as you respect Mother Earth, okay? And that is something that's coming from a past life. And I feel some of you here could have, with this Magician in a past life, like you could have been very connected to paganism, or you could have been very connected to ritual with the Magician here in Africa. You could have been very connected to like the lands and you growing things. And perhaps some of you here with the Empress, you're very good at growing things in this lifetime, or you have a green thumb, or you're just naturally good at like ritual and planning and having a green thumb and all of this stuff. And it's a lot of, with the Magician, it's a lot of talent and skills that can take you very far, okay? But when everybody is kind of like in past lives, maybe perhaps there were people that would just come and go out of your life, but they always wanted money, or they always needed things from you. And it always was, not that you don't mind, I feel like you don't mind helping people, but it gets old. You know what I mean? It gets old all the time. And people not really being that sincere, I feel like perhaps like only around when they need something from you. And I feel like in this lifetime, you're like, no. Like, and I do feel with the 4 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, like you really had some lifetimes where you had to work hard and dig deep for what you were trying to create and what you were trying to do. And I do feel you could have had at least 1 or 2 lifetimes where things had kind of stalled out, or there wasn't much more progress that you could make. And I feel like the South, some of you may have a South node with this Knight of Swords. Some of you may have South node in an air sign, okay? Some of you may have South node in Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or you may have a South node like in Aries, or I just feel like, you know, you want to move something forward faster in this lifetime. And I'm trying to think, Like maybe some of you have Aries, Libra. I'm trying to think of air and fire sign combinations. Sagittarius and Gemini, like the nodes in Sagittarius and Gemini, Aries and Libra, like Leo and Aquarius. Perhaps some of you guys have those as well. But like fire and air combinations where it's like, oh no, you know, the Magician, fire and air, like very creative, very original. I feel you guys were really one of a kind in a past life, but people may have tried to kind of put you in a box or like wear you down with the things that they needed or the dependencies and things like that. And I feel like, you know, you guys are coming from past life energy of wanting to, like, you know, I'm tired of being stuck, or I want to move this forward like now, you know. We have here paralyzed. Wow, what I've been talking about this whole time. And I also feel with paralyzed, some of you could have had a with the Four of Pentacles and like not being able to move, it could have been more of like, well, I don't feel like I can go anywhere or do anything or really utilize my powers the way I want to. Or perhaps some of you were taking care of someone in your family that was paralyzed, or perhaps there was someone who was very close to you that was actually paralyzed in a past life, okay? Just have to tell you what I'm getting. And, you know, the Knight of Swords can be like moving around really quickly and being kind of careless as well. I feel some of you could have had a sibling that like moved around a lot. And yep, there's the devil. The Three of Cups and the devil was having a good time, moving around, doing different stuff. I feel somebody could have fallen off of a horse or, you know, had an accident or something like that. And because they were having a good time and they weren't paying attention. And then I feel you had to take care of that person, pile number one, okay? And perhaps that stopped the plans or stopped you from being able to go and do what you wanted to do. Look at your relationships in this lifetime with close friends, like I mean brother, sister type close friends, or your actual siblings. And is there somebody in your life at this time, in your present life, that can be very reckless at times, or like not really paying attention to the dangers around them? And have there been close calls with this person? Have you had to jump in and do different things? Pile number one. So I feel like this is an energy coming up with you from a past life that you're growing, right? The thing is when we're paralyzed and we're not growing, like it feels very frustrating. But I feel like, and sometimes we have soul lessons to learn around being stopped in our tracks. And like, I'm not saying this is a reason for people to be paralyzed, pile number one, but I'm just saying sometimes life slows us down for a reason. But I feel, because we're moving too fast or we're trying to do too much, but I feel in this lifetime with the Empress, there's actual real growth that's happening for you in this lifetime. That's measurable, that you can see, that you can ascertain. And with paralyzed here, not being able to move forward can overwhelm and create a sense of fear. Yeah, the Knight of Swords, like maybe you get like panicky, or you get a feeling of, oh my gosh, you know, like if you're not moving forward because you've had lifetimes of dealing with that. Not being able to move forward can overwhelm and create a sense of fear, but standing still can be just as frightening. At least moving forward, one can create change. I am the creator. I am the creator of change in my life, okay? And so a huge energy about this coming through for you, pile number one, from a past life. Ooh, yeah, we have the Sun in Libra. Enjoy life with music, love, and romance. Ah, yeah, pile number one. Look at the two swans. And of course with the Empress, right? And that, to me, this harmony energy of enjoy life with music, love, and romance also tells me that, you know, that's more of a laid back energy. It's more of a like, look, we're peacefully like floating on a river together, or look, we're like just enjoying each other's company. And also music, love, and romance. Remember when I talked about rhythm at the beginning of your reading? I do feel there could have been musical talent that you had in a past life, or maybe you've been working on that in this lifetime. But Sun in Libra is not about like moving at a really insane speed. Sun in Libra is about like enjoying things. You know, I have a good friend of mine who's a Libra rising, plus she has moon in Libra, and she really likes experiences. Like, I was traveling with her one time and she just wanted to go try all the things and try all the food and try all the things and experience things. And I was just struck by like how just going and having a dessert was like making her so excited. Like, just going and eating some dessert was like, wow, you know? And that's like enjoying life, right? I just want to enjoy life with good food, music, good fun, love, and romance. Like, the Four of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles are pretty serious energies. And, you know, and I feel like with this Sun in Libra, there's also more romance for you available in this lifetime, pile number one. And, you know, that Knight of Swords there, perhaps some of you have fallen in the past for air sign. For my females watching this, perhaps if you like men, perhaps you've fallen for air sign men in the past, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I just feel like there's an energy of like, enjoy life, music, fun, romance, walking around, trying different foods, like, you know, this type of stuff where we can take life at a more relaxed pace without feeling overwhelmed. Like, you know, and I think in a past life, you did want to move, or you did want to grow, or you did want to make things happen, Magician, but there were circumstances that kept you paralyzed, and perhaps that was very frustrating, aggravating, sad, or annoying for you. But in this lifetime, I feel like you're actually learning to make peace with like chilling. And, you know, you are growing. The thing is that you are growing, pile number one, but you're also chilling, which is that Libra balance that we talk about, that we want to find too. And we have here the Wanderer. Oh my gosh. Yes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The Wanderer with the Magician, like you guys wanting to go to different places, do different things. And perhaps some of you did have a past life in Africa or Greece, but I want to explore the world, right? The Wanderer, traveling, adventure, movement, coping with unfamiliarity. That's a big thing. Like, people love travel, but travel can be very traumatic as well, because you have to cope with all the things that you don't know, like the language, etc. A pilgrimage, aloneness, broaden your horizons. Yes, I love that. And maybe here you were a little bit afraid to be alone in a past life, and so you were kind of stuck with where you were at, or you felt paralyzed by something, but you wanted to go somewhere. I feel like in this lifetime, you want to be very self-reliant and self-contained with the Empress, and you want to see real growth, and you want to have the resources and able to travel and have adventures and move around as you see fit, okay? And I feel like in a past life, you did get to wander and you did get to do things, but perhaps you were alone and perhaps you were by yourself during those wanderings, you know? And I do feel like traveling with somebody, like going someplace with a partner, and experiencing, like going on trips with a partner, or enjoying like companionship while traveling, makes it very, very lovely and sweet for you in this lifetime, pile number one. And with the Empress here, it is all about lovely sweetness in this lifetime. And I do feel like with this Knight of Swords, there is somebody who's like very gung-ho to kind of like travel with you or go places with you. Interesting, pile number one. Let's see what we have here. We have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, travel, movement. Let's go. Speed, speed, speed. Three of Swords. Yes, moving too quickly in relationships, needing 10 of Swords, needing to slow down and appreciate your environment. And we have Page of Swords. Oh my gosh, like you guys really learning, really getting the message from a past life for sure. And it's something I feel you can be very proud of. It's like you understand that, you know, when you like don't allow yourself to grow and you don't take time to enjoy things and you don't take things at your own pace, that and you try to like rush through things and do things very, very quickly when it comes to love, when it comes to just like tasks that you're trying to do for work or whatever. Like, you know, I feel you guys really get this lesson now. And I kind of feel like you guys are saying to me right now, like, Natalie, this reading really has me thinking about the way I've done things in the past, or the way, maybe ways that I've been impatient or unwilling to kind of calm down and take a minute to think about things. And just like how moving too quickly into things can really like blind me to what it is that, like, how it stops me in my tracks and how I become paralyzed by it, you know? And the Ten of Swords is a very paralyzing energy. It's like, I can't go anywhere. I can't move forward. I can't move back. There's nothing I can do. It's hopeless. Like, I'm fucked, you know? And perhaps some of you guys have had this happen to you in this lifetime, where you get something going and it's going really well, and then there's an obstacle, and then it's like, I give up, I'm fucked, you know? And perhaps some of you are thinking about these mental patterns that you get into at times, where you just expect things to be very quick, and if you run into an obstacle, it's like, you know, fuck it, I'm done, it didn't work, you know, that type of thing. And it's like having a little more tolerance for the time it takes things to actually grow is, I feel, something you guys are learning. And I do feel like it's a maturity thing that you're really, really getting in this lifetime. And I think you're also figuring out that when people come to you very, very quickly and have a certain agenda and are like overly excited but not very realistic, okay, Three of Swords, Eight of Wands, that those kind of like romantic situations are doomed to fail. And that, you know, things that are very short-lived but exciting, Eight of Wands, are oftentimes like not worth it, because like it just ends up crashing and burning, or you end up questioning everything like over and over and over, you know? And there is something about the mental patterns that you developed in a prior lifetime, pile number one, that I think in this lifetime, you're learning to relax a little bit more and leave room for your growth and leave room to enjoy life. And you're actually like breathing before doing things, I feel like, because you have the space to create something in this lifetime, okay? And so pile number one, I feel there's so much more that I could say about your reading. It's very fascinating. I have to say I enjoyed your reading a lot. And, you know, the Page of Swords, really like thinking before doing things, you know, without just like jumping into them like spur of the moment, okay? So that's a very interesting energy. Thank you so much, pile number one. I appreciate you being here, and I would love to hear your comments or your feedback on the reading. Let's go ahead and move on to pile number two. Okay, let's do it. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the watermelon, and today's reading is called Your South Node, a lesson from a past life conquered. How interesting. Of course, the South Node of the moon, holding and containing all of the wisdom from our past lives, also all the pain and all the victories, and what we're pulling forward with us into this lifetime. You know, it's like the Fool in the tarot with the little satchel that he carries on his back, carrying all those experiences, incarnating as a fresh little baby, but still having this stuff that he carries with him, right? And it's a lot of the South Node stuff is very subconscious, but it affects this lifetime. So let's go ahead, and we can't see what's in the Fool's satchel, can we? We can't see what's in there. We don't necessarily know what's in there. And we don't necessarily know every detail about our past lives, but we get the intuitive feel of it. So pile number two, let's go ahead and see. Okay, very interesting. We have the Three of Wands. It popped out, so I'm gonna set it out here. And, ooh, that's some long hair in this Three of Wands. That's some maybe you guys like to put your hair in braids, or you liked having really long hair at one point, okay, in a past life or this life. Let's go ahead and see for my pile number twos, sorry. For my pile number twos, let's look and see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, ooh, the 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. We gotta fight for our right to party. Pile number 2 in this pile. And this 7 of Wands, somebody here is looking for a good time, but is naughty, okay? And maybe you guys in a past life would go for like the naughty people or the bad people or the bad boys or the bad girls, because I'm also seeing that too. But I'm also seeing like jail or somebody who was in jail in a past life and, you know, having to leave a person behind. Perhaps some of you guys know somebody in this lifetime who was incarcerated, or maybe you had a lover or somebody that was in trouble at one point, because I do see something about that. Okay. And the 3 of Wands is about the freedom to move around and like wherever you want. And maybe some of you here like wanted to live in a really big city, or you lived in a big city in the past and you're wanting to try something else. Okay, but let's go ahead, before I get too deep here, pile number 2, let's go ahead and see. Mama, I'm in love with a stripper. No, I'm just kidding. With the 7 of Wands, or you know, Bonnie and Clyde energy there with the 7 of Wands. But let's go ahead. Somebody's, you know, pile number 2. Somebody could have gone to great lengths to try to protect you in a past life, but ended up in trouble because of it. I'm also just picking up that energy, okay? I have to say it. And let's go ahead and get into your reading. We have here fate, the wheel of fortune, the roll of the dice, and fate. And you see this is a painting having called the roll of fate. And it looks like this person's kind of trying to argue with the gods about their fate. Wait a second. I didn't ask for that, okay? We have, oh my gosh, the Fool. Wow, pile number 2. I just went off on a complete talk in the beginning of your reading about the Fool. And here's the Fool. So very interesting. Archangel Gabriel pictured in this Fool card. Maybe some of you have a connection to Archangel Gabriel or the archangels in general. We have the Plague. Wow. The Black Plague and the Tower. Oh my goodness. Saint Sebastian interceding for the plague stricken. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. So perhaps some of you, the Black Death or the Plague, perhaps some of you had a past life experience with that, or you always feel like, perhaps some of you in this lifetime have dealt with being sick, or you have dealt with health problems at times, okay? But the 3 of Wands is like very healthy. It's Mars and Aries energy. So it's very strong and it's very healthy, and it's very much like getting off the butt and moving, okay? And I feel like in a past life, you were like, this can't be my fate. This can't be real, okay? And I also feel some of you could have had, because of a natural disaster or because of something like a plague, you could have had someone really close to you that passed away, a partner, a lover, a child, yourself. But it's like, I didn't even really get the chance that I wanted to really do what I wanted because my time got cut short. And, you know, I feel like you guys met your fate with the Wheel of Fortune, the Fool, and the Tower. I feel like you guys met your fate like very bravely, pile number 2. You're very brave, 3 of Wands. You're extremely brave, my loves. And, you know, and we have that moment of acceptance where we kind of accept our fate and we say, okay, I guess if I need to start over, I will. Okay. And perhaps in a past life, you found yourself having to start over multiple times because of the Fool and the Tower here. And because of you ended up in a situation, you know, wrong place, wrong time, or the people you care about were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And these types of really like massive situations that are a part of our history, that I feel you guys had to like bravely stand up for yourself as well, okay, in situations. Let's see what else we have here. We have water. What is overwhelming you in your waking life? How are you traveling emotionally in this life? Wow, the Fool, traveling. How are you traveling emotionally in this life? Are you struggling to reach your goals? Okay. And, you know, with the Fool and the Tower, it's like, Jesus, I didn't even get a fair shot to finish what I was doing. Like I had just started, I had just like begun, and all of a sudden something happened, you know? And I understand feeling emotional about that, pile number 2. And perhaps some of you in a past life were very emotional or very watery. Okay. And 3 of Wands, I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, there is the water here that she's looking out to in the 3 of Wands, but she's not really looking at the water. She's looking at what she wants to do in the future. Okay. So maybe letting your emotions get involved in things in a past life. Or do you feel like you struggle to reach your goals in this lifetime, pile number 2? Because I feel like, you know, you're being given the strength and the fortitude with the 3 of Wands in order to meet your goals in this lifetime. Perhaps there was some prior disappointment with that. We have Frog Spirit and clear out the clutter. Wow. Well, the Tower will do that. The Tower will really take us back and reset us to like 0. But I also feel the Frog Spirit talking about emotional like clutter, or the emotional repercussions of things that happened in a past life, and some really tough situations when it comes to your fate and the way that situations played out. And sometimes with the Wheel of Fortune, the Fool, and the Tower, it can feel like the universe like chewed you up and spit you out. And perhaps that's very overwhelming. Like, you know, the Fool and the Tower is definitely having a lot of changes, a lot of surprises, a lot of shocks, a lot of changes. And I feel like, you know, you guys already had a lot of that in a past life. But because I feel like you bravely faced like so many challenges and things that came your way, you're more than ready and positioned in this lifetime to move forward on things that you wanted to do. I invite peace within myself and I ripple this outwards, okay? And this is very much a water type of an energy, okay? Like I invite peace within myself and I ripple it outwards. Now, the only thing I will say about the 3 of Wands is that the 3 of Wands can also be a little bit impatient about things too. And I get it. Like if you've had multiple incarnations where you were stopped short of what you wanted to do because of the circumstances you were in, you're going to be itching to move forward, you know, in your current life. But this is saying inviting peace. I invite peace within myself and I ripple this outwards. So whatever is going on in your life, even if it is like wild shit that you never expected, basically in situations where things are being turned on their head and are very shocking and upsetting, it's saying that you're working with yourself emotionally to detox from the emotional impact of situations, finding peace within, and then rippling that out to others and basically pushing your emotional energy out to others in order to kind of stabilize a situation emotionally, okay? And I do feel like you guys were like a central piece here in helping people process like really tough things, helping people process really shocking events and situations. And, you know, the Frog Spirit definitely having to do with detoxing on an emotional level, because Frog Spirit is absorbing a lot emotionally. And there's a lot of like shocking things going on. And perhaps some of you have Uranus very heavy in your chart, like Uranus rising, or like your sun conjunction Uranus, opposite Uranus. But like a lot of big major things, shocking things happen, can take a toll on our emotions. And the shock that we absorb can really make us feel overwhelmed. And I feel like you guys questioned a lot, like spiritually in a past life too, with this water here. Like you were like, is this really my fate? Or is this really the way it's supposed to be? And it's asking, how are you traveling emotionally in life? Okay, and perhaps some of you made some like very shocking choices in a past life that changed your fate and overwhelmed you, okay? We have here the empty room. Wow. Pile number 2, the empty room. What are we left with when everything around us crumbles? When the people that we loved are gone? When like a shocking change happens in our life, like somebody is taken from our life, suddenly stricken from our life because of sickness, and then we're left alone in an empty room, like staring at the wall, like what is left, you know? And being able to find peace in an empty room when there's like no frills, you know, there's not a lot of like luxuries. An empty room is just concrete. It's an empty room. Like there's nothing there. You really have to go within emotionally. You really, really have to go within. And perhaps some of you have a heavy 12th house in your chart or a lot of 12th house planets. But it's like when we're left alone and nothing is left and everything is gone and no one's around us, like how do we survive? How do we move on? How do we find peace within? Very interesting, pile number 2. And I still see the 7 of Wands here as somebody who could have been incarcerated or, you know, jailed for just like defending themselves, or somebody who was jailed defending you or got in trouble because they were trying to defend you or help you. Okay, I am still seeing that. And, you know, nothing is worse than like sitting in an empty room in a jail cell with like nothing. I mean, that's a real test of somebody's inner peace, isn't it? Because someone could go crazy in that kind of an experience. Pile number 2. We have here reject. Dismissing opinions too quickly can lead to neglecting important information. By taking time, the truth will become apparent and you will view the situation in a different light. Okay? And yeah, so that's interesting. Like dismissing opinions of people around you or people trying to show you like this is going to happen if you do this, this is going to happen. And it's like, no, it won't. No, that's not going to happen. That's not the way it's going to go. And maybe dismissing opinions of like wise counsel, because with the Wheel of Fortune, we can definitely talk about Jupiter energy and people around us that are trying to help us or give us wise counsel or help us avoid a certain fate by making better decisions. And perhaps some of you were kind of faced with the consequences of your decisions. And we're very headstrong, perhaps in a prior lifetime. But I feel like you fully felt the consequences of those decisions in a prior life, pile number 2. And I feel some of you had to deal with that on your own, you know, like you had to just deal with that on your own. I also feel some of you could have gone out like looking for a job or looking for a way to survive during a difficult time, and there was nothing there, or you got rejected multiple times. And pile number 2, if you're ever feeling like bitter, emotionally bitter in this lifetime because you feel rejected from something, just know that you have dealt with that pain in a prior lifetime too. And it may be very triggering for you in this lifetime as well. But I also think you really had to face some deep emotional truths in a past life that were very uncomfortable and very challenging, you know? And that's why it's talking about clearing out the clutter or clearing out the gunk that kind of builds up from past life energies. Ooh, yeah, the sun in Pisces, higher purpose. Align yourself with love and wisdom. Yeah, I was talking about wisdom with the Wheel of Fortune. And I think some of you perhaps chose to like go it on your own. And the thing is, because you are very brave and you do have the ability to like go off on your own, I feel pile number 2 with the 3 of Wands, perhaps you weren't, didn't want to listen, or you didn't want to rely on someone else's opinion. But I do feel that you could have really suffered the consequences because of that. Perhaps your angels were trying to tell you, don't go outside. There's a full-on plague going on. Don't go out there. But then you went out there anyway. I'm just giving you an example, but this type of energy and look at this. She's sitting there in yoga clothes in meditation pose. Okay. And she's like really focused in higher purpose. Align yourself with love and wisdom. And it says here, are you struggling to reach your goals? Higher purpose, okay? And maybe sometimes you guys question, like, what is the higher purpose of life? What is the purpose of being here? And I feel like you questioned that a lot in a past life as well. Maybe some of you here do have Pisces in your chart, or perhaps in a past life you were a Pisces. Pisces is very mutable type energy and kind of goes where it wants to go. And sometimes it's a little bit disorganized, but we want to look at like if we are getting wise counsel and wisdom, like being able to take that advice and listen to what, sit down and listen to the truth and the voice within is also what I feel here too, right? And align yourself with your past flow and your past experiences. And I feel like aligning yourself with love and wisdom is going to help you guys find your higher purpose, okay? And look at it says here, by taking the time, the truth will become apparent and you will view the situation in a different light. Look at that huge light right there that she's looking at. Sun in Pisces, higher purpose. By sitting with yourself, inviting peace within, meditation, I understand my higher purpose and I understand why I'm here and I understand why this happens, and I feel in the flow as a result of that understanding, and I feel peace within as a result of that understanding, okay? And, emotional detox, and in order to kind of find your higher purpose is definitely something that your past life has taught you. Several past lives have taught you, okay? And perhaps some of you here too with Pisces, Pisces is not necessarily the most like vital sign when we're talking about health. Pisces actually has to be really careful to take care of their health because they can be very sensitive health-wise and catch a lot of things, a lot of flus, a lot of colds, and perhaps in the past, you guys did catch a lot of things. This lifetime with the 3 of Wands is all about building strength and power and, to really execute on your visions and dreams and to really feel like you have a purpose and that you're pointed in a particular direction. Because I feel in prior lifetimes, there was so much like that you were being offered, but then taken away from you, and then having to deal with the emotional consequences of that fallout. Okay. And I do feel this lifetime is about like having a strong purpose and a reason for why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. And perhaps that takes some meditation and, writing out your mission statement, thinking about, why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? Why is this important to me? Okay. And perhaps with this clear out the clutter in Pisces, there's a lot that maybe you overwhelm yourself with like so many different things. I have to do this, all these different things. It's like, okay, simplify and pick one direction. That's very much like a 3 of Wands type of a thing. We have following here. Okay, very interesting. Following. So there really is something about you either following advice blindly when you shouldn't in a past life, or following advice when you should have, or not following advice when you should have. And, you know, I feel like as your time in reflection and your judgment and the time that you've spent gathering wisdom and meditating, I feel like all of that is helping you understand, like, when should I be following what someone's saying and when should I be following my own internal compass. Interesting. Pile number 2, we have loyalty, adaptability, cooperation, trust, and reliability, sensitive to others, service, and receiving guidance. Okay, so very sensitive. I feel you guys were very, very sensitive in a prior lifetime, very psychically sensitive, very emotional, and perhaps maybe sometimes that got in a way of receiving guidance from others. Okay, I also feel some of you here could have been trying to give guidance to someone else who didn't listen, and experienced, like with the plague, experienced some really bad consequences because of that. And perhaps now in this lifetime with the 3 of Wands, you're very insistent on, you know, what you should do or what other people should do, because you know what happens when people don't follow correct guidance. Okay, and loyalty and adaptability is also something that you learned in a prior lifetime too. Some of you could have had prior lifetimes as a Pisces, and you really did learn about adaptability, cooperation, trusting others, being reliable as well. Okay, and that's very interesting. We have following here. Okay, and let's see what we have for your tarot cards. Pile number 2. We have the Lovers. Okay. We have the Devil. Oh my goodness. Interesting. Interesting. Following the advice or choosing, you know, and the Lovers also has to do with making choices. And with the Devil, we can talk about not making very good choices or not making very wise choices and ending up alone or ending up suffering the emotional fallout of our consequences as a result of that. And I actually feel for you, pile number 2, I really do, because I feel some of your past lives were very harsh in the lessons that they were teaching you, like very harsh, you know? And I completely understand if you harbor some emotional residue from that or some emotional bitterness from that, you know, feeling, okay, of, you know, I also feel with rejection, perhaps you didn't get what you wanted. It's like, I wanted this, I think it's the best for me, I think it works, but the universe with fate and the Wheel of Fortune and the Tower was like, no, sorry, you don't get that. And it's like, what? So I also feel like facing the consequences of your choices and your decisions, you know, and like the Devil talks with being trapped, like being trapped in an empty room or being trapped by yourself. Like, I thought me and this person were going to be together, but something happened and now I'm like trapped and alone in this empty room. Very kind of, well, and it's interesting because the Lovers and the Devil are actually opposites of each other. Like the Lovers is card number 6 in the tarot, and the Devil is card 15, which adds up to a 6. So it's like a situation that you made a decision about that you thought was as good as gold. And it could have been about a relationship, got turned on its head and ended up turning out different than you thought it was going to do. Okay, and perhaps some of you felt very betrayed by that as well with this water and this frog spirit. Okay, and finding peace emotionally with some of the choices that you made in a past life, pile number 2. I mean, I feel like you guys have a lot of, like I said, you're very brave, and I feel you do stand behind the decisions you make, and I feel you are willing to accept the consequences of what you choose. But I also feel that it hasn't been without pain, and it hasn't been without some really deep lessons emotionally. okay? And perhaps in a past life, you feel like you listened to the wrong person, you picked the wrong partner, okay? We have the 5 of Swords here. Oh my goodness. Wow. Pile number 2, you see what I see here about having some very tough lessons in a past life. And that's why I feel like, sometimes it's like, fuck it. I don't have anything to lose anymore. Like with the 3 of Wands, it very much like gives an attitude of, I've already like had these particular things happen to me. Like what else could happen to me? What else do I have to lose? And, this really is about making a decision about a person that backfired on you or a situation that backfired on you. And I feel some of you here felt very betrayed by that, okay? And I feel like you're over it in this lifetime, though, with the three of Wands. Pile number 2, I feel like you guys are like, I'm over that old shit. I'm ready to move forward. And I feel like in a past life, you could have struggled with a lot of bitterness or emotionality. And perhaps you did struggle with that in this lifetime too, earlier on in your life, in your teenage years or in your 20s or something like that. But I feel like at this point, and I feel like when you hit your 30s here with the 3 of Wands, for those of you that haven't hit your 30s or you're about to hit your 30s, or you're past your 30s, I feel like it's like boom. Then it's like, no. I'm making decisions for me. I'm not looking back. I'm owning what I do and I'm not really looking back anymore. Like I'm moving forward. And I feel like you guys in this lifetime, you're like, yeah, I got the lesson. I got what I was meant to get. And I'm ready to move forward now. I don't need to like lament in that energy anymore. I don't really need to like, stay stuck in that energy with the devil. I don't really need to keep like reliving these experiences over and over. We have the 9 of Pentacles here. Yes. Like, I just feel like you guys are like, I don't care about that old stuff anymore. I have to focus on the here and now and creating what I want and need in the here and now. Okay. And I also feel some of you may not always like, you may not always be into like having a partner, and some of you may be used to kind of being on your own, or you may be a little bit suspicious of like new people or what they say when they're coming into your life, or you may be a little bit like, there may be a part of you that prefers like not a lot of drama in this lifetime, I feel. But at the same time, maybe you still get a little suspicious of people and what they're telling you and what they're saying to you. Okay. And I do feel like there was some decisions made in a past life. And someone could be returning to you from a past life. Pile number 2 in this lifetime. But I feel like you're a lot more grounded and you're a lot wiser in this lifetime, okay? And I know we have the plague here, but I'm also, which would be like European, like a European past life, but I'm also seeing like a Latin past life or a past life in Latin America that went way better than your past life in Europe. And maybe some of you, you've been to Europe or you don't have a desire to go there or you're not into it, but you do like, like Latin cultures, or you would live in Spain or Portugal, or you are more drawn to that than you would be like living in Europe, okay? Because I am seeing something about that here too. And I am seeing something about a place that you no longer want to visit or go to in this lifetime. And sometimes certain places can have really like weird memories, for us. And we don't really want to go there again in this lifetime, okay? And I feel like you guys have kind of this attitude of like, I can't believe I made those decisions in a past life. Like, I feel you guys are a little hard on yourself sometimes, though, pile number 2, about some of the decisions you made in a past life. Or, I would just you know what, but I think you're getting past that in this lifetime. You're like, I don't really I don't really care anymore. I'm moving on, okay? And I'm done following people that I shouldn't be following. And I'm done trusting in people that I shouldn't be trusting, you know? And I will listen to my inner wisdom, and I will make good decisions, you know? And I also feel somebody really could have lied to you in a past life. And, you know, I feel like in this lifetime, you're very like, you really examine what people are saying to you a lot more. And if you don't like something, you're out the door, okay? Or if something doesn't work for you, you're like, no, I'm not putting up with that. And I see you being like very sassy in this lifetime, pile number 2. I'm just gonna get a couple cards here for the 5 of Swords. The Lover, the Devil, the 5 of Swords. Yeah. Getting caught in a web again is not something, getting caught in an old web that makes you feel like alone and trapped is not something that you want to do, okay? And let's see, Spirit, can you tell me a little bit more about the 5 of Swords here? Can you tell me a little bit more about the 5 of Swords, please? Can you tell me a little bit more about the 5 of Swords? I also feel some of you could have had, okay, love is on the bottom of the deck here. This is a lot about your love life too. I feel some of you could have had a lover or somebody that you picked in a past life that went to jail. I just have to tell you, or you had somebody in your life from a past life who had like bad business practices, or was cheating other people, or was not being honest about like their investments. I kind of feel some of you with this 9 of Pentacles here, you could have been with like, and the Devil, I feel you could have been with somebody who was like a banker, or somebody who worked in a trader or a merchant. And I kind of feel like this person like lied to people, or you know, wasn't honest with what they were doing. And I do feel like this person ended up in jail or ended up out of your life because of this. And, you know, I feel like you were faced with an empty room, okay? And, you know, the life that you wanted for yourself, I feel like, and maybe people tried to warn you about this person. Dismissing opinions too quickly can lead to neglecting important information. And I feel some of you could have had a father in a past life that tried to tell you, don't get with this person, or this person is bad, or this person is going to make your life harder, okay? But I feel some of you, you know, very headstrong with the Fool, like you didn't want to listen, okay? And in this lifetime, I feel you are headstrong in this lifetime too with the 3 of Wands, you know, because you are very brave and confident, and you are willing to stand up for yourself, okay? But I feel like some of you with this Wheel of Fortune, like you really could have bet on a person that didn't come through for you. Like you really bet your money or your future comfort on somebody who didn't come through for you, or who let you down, or somebody who was a liar, like didn't, you know, and I feel like you guys didn't know. But some people could have tried to warn you, but then you're like, I'm not listening because I don't, you know, I know this person and I know who they are, the Lovers, and I know what they bring to the table, right? And maybe some of you in this current lifetime had a parent or a father or relative or brother or somebody who didn't want you dating somebody, or didn't want you being around a certain type of person, okay? And I also kind of feel that you guys may get mad though with the 3 of Wands when people try to tell you what to do, you know? And so it's very interesting energy, but I feel like in this lifetime with the 9 of Pentacles, you're more contemplative, and you're more willing to like look at things maybe. And I feel like with the Devil and the Lovers, perhaps you were looking at a situation when it came to your love life that wasn't accurate, you know? And I feel like now with this Nine of Pentacles, like you're very grounded and you see things for what they are. And you do listen when you get signs from spirit, when you get sign from your guides, when you get signs from your ancestors or loved ones that have passed on. I feel like in this lifetime, you do listen, okay? And that's good. Pile number 2, that's really, really good. And because I feel like in a prior lifetime, someone really stuck you with the shit at the end of the day that left you very overwhelmed and looking for answers. 5 of Swords, okay? And I do feel like there was like an emotional understanding here that really had to happen for you. Align yourself with love and wisdom. Not just love, but love and wisdom. And I feel like that's been a journey for you. Yeah, okay, 5 of Swords, we have abundance and flow. So again, that just tells me that you were with someone who lied about their money, or who wasn't, who wasn't like honest or true with you about what was happening with the money, or what was happening, what they were doing to get the money, like this type of thing, okay? And telling you like money was coming in, 5 of Swords, money was coming in, but it wasn't, lying to you. And I feel like in this lifetime, 9 of Pentacles, you really want to have control of your money, or maybe you're the one that really likes to look at the money, balance the checkbook, do all that stuff, because you've had people in the past tell you, oh, everything's fine, the money's there, everything's going to be great, but then it's not, and it gets wiped out, And so I really think you guys are like, and an empty room is basically like there's nothing left. They came and took everything. Like there's no frills. They came and took all of our nice stuff and all of that. And now, and sometimes when you're left with nothing in an empty room, all there is to do is to invite peace into yourself and to process those emotional experiences. And yeah, so this is interesting energy, pile number 2. I really enjoyed your reading, and this current lifetime, really working on your own independent abundance and flow, and understanding what's happening practically, money-wise, all of that, okay? And, if you feel like you're struggling to reach your goals in this lifetime, pile number 2, or that you have, it's all about like sitting with yourself and sitting with the emotions and meditating on it, maybe in an empty room, like kind of going back to basics. And then I feel like the information you need comes to you, and boom, you can move on, okay? So pile number 2, very interesting reading, my friends. I hope that reading, really meant something for you, pile number 2, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, or your feedback about the reading. Let's go ahead and get into pile number 3, okay? Let's do it. Alrighty. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Pear, and today's reading is called Your South Node, a lesson from a past life conquered. Let's go ahead and take a look at, let's get into that conquering energy, pile number 3. What past life lesson have you conquered for my pile number 3s? You guys are like, ooh, make it good, right? What past life lesson have you conquered? Conquered. Pile number 3, South Node and past life lesson has pile number 3. Ooh, there we go. That was a bunch of stuff. There's a lot there. Pile number 3, what past life lessons has pile number 3 conquered, please? Okay. 6 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Ooh, I am the winner. All right, 6 of Pentacles, the Lord of Material Success on the bottom of the deck. Pile number 3, let's look at your feeling very accomplished, feeling like you really reached an apex. And even though there's all this, like a lot of stuff going on, or there's a lot of garbage, or there's a lot of mess, or there's a lot of, it's like I still accomplished so much. And I feel like in your guys' past lives, like you did accomplish so much. Yeah, things were messy. Yeah, things weren't always, like perfect in your environment. But I feel like you guys did already accomplish a lot. And I see 6 prior lifetimes here where you guys really did a good job. So congratulate yourselves on that already, pile number 3. We have India. Ooh, very interesting. The 2 of Pentacles and India. Wow. Pile number 3, having a past life in India. We have true friend and the Knight of Pentacles. African man, okay? So somebody who is a true friend to you and somebody who could have taught you about making money. Perhaps you guys were a true friend to somebody in need as well, okay? And that racks up great karma. You know what I mean, pile number 3? I'm already getting a feeling that you guys were racking up some really good karma in a past life. Oh, of course, charity. The 6 of Pentacles twice. Oh my goodness. We have the 6 of Pentacles twice. And on here it says charity, deeds of Christian charity, okay? And interesting, some of you could have had prior lifetimes being like religious or a part of a religion and helping others, where a big thing was to help the poor. I also see a lifetime where charity could have been offered to you when you were being taken care of by somebody as a child and you didn't have a lot, or you were alone or abandoned, pile number 3, and somebody really taking you in and taking care of you and being there for you, okay? I also feel there could have been a father in a past life that showed up to take care of you or to be there for you in a past life, or tried to protect you, or there was some type of paternal figure, and that person could have been a true friend to you, or somebody in your life now who's a true friend to you now, or someone who feels you're a very true friend to them, pile number 3. I feel some of you could have had a very awful mother in a past life. I am seeing this woman trying to like elbow her daughter out of the way, or trying to, push her daughter or her son out of the way. And, and I do feel like there could have been a situation where one of your siblings was taken care of by a parent, perhaps a paternal figure, but you weren't. And, like your mother was horrible, or, a sibling got everything they wanted and needed, but you didn't, okay? And, you were treated very awful by this person, I feel. For those of you that have had parental figures that you feel have favored another sibling, or you feel that you've had a mother that's been really horrendous, I am seeing this. And I feel like there was people who made you feel bad just for like wanting anything or needing anything, or tried to like took care of their needs first before they gave you like any food or helped you with anything. Yeah, pile number 3, like very tough. I feel some of you have had, some pretty tough lifetimes as well, okay? Maybe you didn't have enough to eat, or somebody wasn't giving, wasn't taking care of you, like a parent wasn't taking care of you and you didn't have enough to eat. Pile number 3, oh my goodness. No wonder you guys are like, pile number 3, you're so wonderful, like you're really a true friend to other people. And I think because in lifetimes, like you were really treated poorly or really negatively by other people, that when you see someone struggling or suffering or hungry or needing help, like you don't just stand there and wait for other people to do something, you truly help. And wow, pile number 3, people can count on you for sure, okay? People can really, really count on you to be a true friend to others, and I love that. We have here surrender. Wow. Let go of the internal and external struggles in your life. Give up the fight to control others and situations. Relinquish your need to be right and surrender to a higher power. You know, and perhaps you guys very strong, coming through looking very strong, very determined, not wanting to give up. You know, the Knight of Pentacles in a prior lifetime, true friend. Like, I don't want to give up. I don't want to let this go. I want to keep pushing for something. And, you know, it's kind of that gladiator energy, pile number 3. It's kind of that never say die. It's kind of that like resilient spirit type of energy. But I also feel like, you know, there could be this need where you feel like you have to prove yourself at times, or you always have to be on, or you always have to be that loyal person, or you can't let anyone down, or you always have to be doing things for other people, pile number 3. Okay, I feel like you have so much to share. You're very generous, 6 of Pentacles. You want to help other people be successful too. But it also says here, let go of internal and external struggles in your life and give up the fight to control others and situations, okay? Let people be who they are and let them, you know, we can't always mitigate other people's karma. Like sometimes we can try to help someone or give someone what they need or be very generous, and they don't want to accept our help, and they don't want to, you know, and they won't. And it's like, okay, I can't, like, you know, and I feel you guys are a true friend. I feel you're somebody that really is loyal, dedicated, cares about the people that are in your life, but sometimes maybe it's too much in a way, pile number 3, in the sense that, you know, you kind of have to let go of control, okay? We have Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery, okay? Life is a mystery. I love that. Interesting. Life is a mystery. Okay. I choose to take a higher perspective and widen my views. Why wouldn't this person accept my help? Why wouldn't they let me repay the favor? Why did they decide to stay and suffer and struggle in that dynamic when I was offering them help? You know, like, I kind of feel like life is a mystery, you know, like we don't know necessarily where everyone is coming from. We don't know everyone else's past lives. Like, we don't know everybody else's histories in our lifetime. And so we have to hold space for the fact that, you know, even as much effort as we put into things and even as much as we offer, not everyone is going to want to be receptive to that. Not everyone is going to want to take that. And it could be because of their own past lives and their own, like, feeling shameful about accepting help, you know? So there's these kind of things that go on, and we can't always know, like, the reason for everything. And I know I'm a person, I like to know the reason for everything. I want to know why this, why that, why this. I want to discover everything, okay? But there's also this, like, surrender that life is a mystery, and we can't know all the answers to everything, and we can't do everything perfectly all the time, you know? Pile number 3, and I feel you guys are kind of perfectionists when it comes to your incarnations, and you want, like, a string of lifetimes piled up where you did, like, a really good job. And I feel like you get kind of sad when people won't accept your help, or they won't, like, you know, you're trying to do something nice for somebody, or you're trying to be there for them and they don't care, or they won't listen, or this type of thing. And perhaps some of you have dealt with people feeling like jealous. You've been trying to be a true friend and be there for people and help people, but they've been jealous, or they haven't wanted to. And that's where, you know, we have to really look at ourselves and say, am I just trying to kind of control this situation? Because I feel you guys could have had a lifetime where you didn't have a lot of control, and you kind of vowed never to let yourself get into that situation again, to feel that powerless, or to feel that, like, broken down. And so you worked and you worked and you worked to kind of never feel that way again. And I feel you guys have so much to offer with the 6 of Pentacles, but not everyone is willing to accept, you know, and that's painful. We have the 1 here, the 1. Wow, interesting. The 1. This to me, with let go of the internal and external struggles in your life, give up the fight to control others and situations, relinquish your need to be right. And the one can be a message like, we're about your damn self, pile number 3, you're the one that needs to show up for you, right? Like, and I mean that in the nicest way, but show up for yourself first, right? Before giving everything to everyone else and before, all of that. Like, at the end of the day, you can only be responsible for you. Now, if you have children, that's a different thing. You gotta, as we all know, we gotta own up and be responsible if we have children. But if it's only you, then you need to be loyal to yourself first, okay? So I think that that's very interesting, pile number 3. And we have obscurity. Oftentimes we overcomplicate situations when the best option is in plain sight, but overlooked as being too easy. Wow, yeah, you guys like to work hard. I already told you, and perhaps you do overcomplicate situations and you work and work and work and work in them when honestly the answer is right in front of you, and perhaps when you let go of control, you see what that answer is. And, the one can also be about finding that person or that true person in our lives. And people have a tendency to overcomplicate. I love the Knight of Pentacles because the Knight of Pentacles isn't like overcomplicating things. And I love the Two of Pentacles as well. I feel some of you could have met someone in a prior lifetime who helped you get ahead or helped you get started with money or helped you get started with a job or something. And it's like you want to repay that favor or you want to do that. But, oftentimes it's like the person won't let us, And we feel if we let go of control that we're just going to slip into obscurity, that we're not going to matter anymore, that we're not going to matter to other people, and it's interesting, pile number 3, it really is. We often overcomplicate situations when the best option, the one, is in plain sight, but overlooked as being too easy. Yeah, I feel you guys are people that if something is too easy, you're like, it's not worth it because you're used to working hard for something. Sometimes, however, it's really as simple as that. Life is a mystery. Sometimes we overthink, we overdo, we overanalyze, we overcomplicate things. And the answer is literally right in front of us when we surrender, let go of our ego, and just take a minute and back away from something. We can find out wow, success is right there. It's right at my fingertips. Or what I wanted is literally right in front of me. I'm just overdoing it, So that's interesting, pile number 3. Yes, Virgo, interesting. Virgo energy. So true. A lot of earth energy in this reading. Pile number 3. We have reorganization. Choose duties and responsibilities carefully, okay? And you guys perhaps at times giving too much or over-giving or promising a lot to people. And, also I feel sometimes when we over-help people, it's sometimes we take on their karma or their burdens. And when we come into that energy, there is a need to reorganize. Choose duties and responsibilities carefully. Am I truly responsible for this? Is this truly my thing to carry? Okay. And perhaps some of you do have Virgo in your chart, or you have heavy earth energy in your chart, or with this, surrendering and controlling. Maybe perhaps some of you have Taurus, Scorpio in your chart along with Virgo, but choose what you take on carefully. And this is card number 30. So perhaps some of you are around your Saturn return, or you've got Virgo in your chart heavy, or something happened to you around 30 during your Saturn return where you're I can't keep doing this. I can't keep, I need to reorganize my priorities. And the thing about making yourself a priority focusing on your goals and your priorities. And then if other people want to join in and join along, great, but you can't force anyone to, you know? And I love that Virgo energy for being able to kind of like part and parcel things and say, I'm gonna continue to do this, but I'm not gonna continue to do that. Okay, and I think that's something that your past life taught you. If you were like giving and giving and giving and giving to someone, but yet things didn't change, but yet, you know, you were still the responsible one, the mature one, the one that did everything, but nothing happened your way, you know, and that frustration of that. And I feel some of you who are watching this reading, women watching this reading, I feel some of you could have actually had a past life as a male as well. And, you know, we can reincarnate as different things, but it's like, you know, giving everything to someone, providing everything for someone, like wanting to control the situation, but it's like, I can't, and I've done everything I can, you know? So I feel like you guys in this lifetime though, with this Six of Pentacles, like you're really understanding what is your responsibility and what isn't your responsibility, okay? I mean, I still feel even in this lifetime, you have a tendency to take on way more than other people because you're very capable, pile number 3. And so you may still be doing more fair share of the work than you should be. But at the same time, I feel like you can handle it. It's not overwhelming, you know? The clinging. Wow, card number 30. We have 2 30s here. The clinging, fire, illumination, inspiration, devotion, all-consuming passion, virtue. Yeah, all-consuming passion to like help others and be the one to be there for others. And, you know, and yet this person didn't appreciate you. And yet this person didn't accept the help. And yet, you know, this type of thing. And when we're really clinging to something, right? The clinging, like, are we clinging to something because we want to control it, or are we just like really passionate about something? And I think you guys have lifetimes underneath your belt where you were truly reaching for spirituality and enlightenment, and you were trying to be very virtuous, and you were trying to balance your karma and be very devoted to what you were doing and working on. But I think at times it went overboard and perhaps went into controlling, as we talked about, okay? And really thinking about, like, why am I holding on to this situation? Why am I clinging to it, you know? And also, like, all-consuming passion for something is wonderful, but it's also like, you know, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot to take on. And I feel like you guys really did take on a lot. And perhaps some people just couldn't keep up or didn't have the same level of all-consuming passion for something. But, you know, choosing in this lifetime what actually has practical value and what actually can work, you know, is, I think, we don't want to cling to old situations just because we feel like through sheer willpower we can make them happen, you know, because it's kind of a waste of energy. So I think you guys are definitely on the right track with that. We have the 3 of Wands, very powerful. The Hanged Man, okay? Taking a minute to look at things. I choose to take a higher perspective and widen my views. That's so the Hangman. And life is a mystery is also very much like Hangman type of energy. And I feel you guys, and the Hangman is also very spiritual. So and with India here, I do feel like you guys could have studied in India. You could have had an Indian guru. You could have, you know, been a Buddhist in India, a Hindu in India. I feel some of you could have had and part of that lifestyle is charity. It's giving back to others. It's helping others. It's doing what we can for others. I also feel some of you in a past life could have been very like beautiful, sexy dancers or very athletic as well. perhaps in a past life. And she looks like she's dancing here, and perhaps, you know, fire, illumination, inspiration, all-consuming passion, you know, that energy is sort of woken up through the spirit of dance. And I feel you guys have that. I feel you guys have an all-consuming fire and passion for spirituality and expression. And, you know, I feel like in a past life, like you guys were very fascinating to be around, you know? Like you wanted to do stuff for other people. You were trying to spiritually evolve heavily yourself. You wanted to show up and do things for other people, but sometimes you really had to back up and not do anything and let situations play out like they're supposed to, you know? And the Hangman really represents that energy of like, I'm gonna pause and not overly try to influence this situation. I'm gonna hold back, and I'm going to take a breath here, and I'm not going to like overly try to control any, because the Hangman is definitely an energy of giving up control and surrendering. I mean, we have surrender here too as well. So it's like, I can do everything in my power possible. Three of Wands. And you're very strong, athletic. I feel some of you were very like sexy in a past life too, like dancing, sexy dancing, etc. Very lovely, very spiritual, very passionate. Perhaps some of you are still that way in this lifetime. But you've had to learn how to like back up and let things play out the way they're going to play out, because you realize the only thing I can really do is watch out for myself, okay? And that's not a selfish thing. And perhaps in the past you thought, oh, I'm being selfish, you know, but you had to look at the higher perspective of why you needed to back up or withdraw from something, okay? Six of Pentacles, I feel you guys have gotten very good at this in this lifetime, where this is something even you could teach. I feel some of you could like teach inspired spirituality, or there's a lot you could do here, pile number 3, with all these lessons that you've accumulated. And the Fool, wow, oh my gosh, okay. It's time for a new journey. It's time, I feel like the Fool is pointing to the past and saying, you know, there was this whole energy of like working hard and letting go and pushing forward and like letting go. I also feel some of you could have been like very attracted to somebody, or someone was very attracted to you, but you two were on different paths. I'm also getting something about that, where there was somebody that was very like passionate and fired up. And I feel you could have been in one lifetime, pile number 3, very passionate, fired up, sporty, edgy, fascinating, beautiful, all of that. And I feel that there was somebody who liked you too, but perhaps they went in a religious direction. Perhaps they were unavailable, you know? And I do feel like there could have been you and another person on a separate path, you know? And like, why you never got together or why it never happened in a past life is a mystery. But I kind of feel with the Fool card in this lifetime, it's like, you know, you can go ahead and try it again in this lifetime. We have the One, okay, here. And so it's like it didn't work out in a past lifetime because you two were on 2 separate paths and you were both very dedicated to each of your own paths. So it didn't work out, you know? And at the time, it's like, why? I wanted to work, you know, and having to surrender and let go of that expectation instead of clinging to it, you know? But I feel in this lifetime, it's like you get a redo with the Fool. It's like a second chance. Ooh, there he is, or there she is right there. Pile number 3, the Prince of Wands. Oh my God, this person is showing up in your lifetime again, in this lifetime, okay? They're showing up again, I feel, pile number 3. Is there somebody that you really, really want to be with super, super bad in this lifetime that you feel is the one? I do feel like this person was a friend in a past life. I do feel like they were a true friend, but you two were on different paths. You know, they were doing their thing and you were doing your thing. And, you know, it just didn't, you both had to surrender, okay? And you both had to let go, all right? But I do feel like this person was a friend in a prior lifetime, but I feel, you know, there is this all-consuming passion and spirituality between you and a person here. And for those of you that haven't met this person yet, or you're like, I don't know, you know, who is this person? They could definitely be coming into your life in this lifetime, pile number 3. And because we have 30 here twice, we have 46 and we have 30, okay? So for those of you in your 40s, looking towards 46, and for those of you that are not yet in your 30s, early 30s, okay? But I feel like somebody coming into your life where there was a deep, fiery, passionate, spiritual connection, but you two wanted completely different things. And I feel like in that lifetime, you chose to take the higher perspective and you chose to recognize that this person has their own agency, and you chose to like move forward with what your plans were. But there was a part of you that always remembered that person, or always remembered that passion that was shared, okay? And this person remembers you too as well. I feel pile number 3. And you know, this person coming into your life with the Fool and the Prince of Wands is very exciting. Very, very exciting. And this person could be quite fiery. They could be a Leo, okay? Any fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, particularly this person could have Leo in their chart, or perhaps you do, pile number 3. But there is a very special connection and bond between you two, and I feel you will find each other in this lifetime, okay? And there is a great success in this lifetime. And I feel like you're in this lifetime, you're not clinging to some of the, if there was old ideas that you were clinging to in a past life, I feel like you're not clinging to those in this lifetime. You know, you're really like honest about seeing things for what they are and trying to be like really honest with yourself in this lifetime. Okay, pile number 3. I love that energy. And I'm just going to get 2 cards on the Fool here. And, you know, obscurity is like, you know, fading from someone's life, or being someone feeling like someone doesn't remember you. No, pile number 3, this person does remember you. And this could be somebody you had a past life with in India. I feel that very much so. And you don't have to be Indian in this lifetime. Our past lives are all over the place. But both of you, very spiritual people who just were on different paths, I feel, okay? And I also feel like this choose your duties and responsibilities carefully is here, because it's like, you know, yes, you can accomplish a lot. Yes, you can do a lot, but also, I also feel in this lifetime, you guys are also looking for freedom. You're looking for possibility, excitement, and freedom. And and I do feel like there is somebody who could bring that type of energy into your life. Excitement, freedom, fun. And perhaps some of you do like to dance still, or you do have a certain flair about you. This comes from a past life, pile number 3, okay? You can't deny it, pile number 3. Let's go ahead. Can I get a couple cards for the Fool, please? Life is a mystery, you know, and I feel like your soul knows that. The Hangman, you've meditated on that in many lifetimes already, pile number 3. Let's go ahead and see. Spirit, can you show me a little bit more information about the Fool, please? A little bit more on the Fool. Okay. Peace on the bottom of the deck. All right. I feel like that's kind of the Hangman. Peace, you know? Ooh, wow, 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 wow. Yes, you found peace in a past life with this situation, pile number 3, but it's coming back around and it's good. It's good. It's positive. You're both ready, I feel, in this lifetime. We have magic and love. Oh my gosh, that's what the Fool is about. It's about like believing in the magic and believing in the excitement and the power of love, and not overcomplicating things, you know? And sometimes the simplest thing is right in front of you. And I do feel like there's a nice bond between you and this person. It is about the magic of love in this lifetime. You've worked really hard for this, pile number 3, both you and this person, okay? And thank you so much, pile number 3. Really loved you watching this reading. I hope you enjoyed this reading too, and I'd love to hear any feedback, thoughts, or comments that you have regarding the reading. Take care, my friends.